Hey, everybody. How are you today? Welcome. Let me pause really quick and let me invite all of these other beautiful people. Please invite other beautiful people. How are you people doing today? I hope that you have something amazing and incredible planned for yourself. I hope that you decide to push through, get to the other side of whatever it is you're dreaming of, you're desiring to get done and accomplish this week. It's a new week. It's a new day. And I hope that you unleash your greatness and your brilliance into the world and step in and tap into who you are. Yesterday we talked about who you're rooted, what's rooted inside of you. And so today you get to show what's rooted and planted inside of you. And so today, let me first introduce myself. Hey, everybody, it's me, Tuniscia. And welcome to Tea with Tuniscia. I'm so excited. I am a forgiveness coach and a best time author. I don't know, whatever it is, top seller. But the best part and one of my favorite parts of the day is what I get to do to support other beautiful business moms who are ready to unleash their greatness and their brilliance, but they're stuck. They don't know how to get paid. They don't know what they need to do. Good morning, Queen. They don't know what to do in order to break through to the other side. They want to get paid their worth. They don't know where to start, how to ask. That's where I step in and I support them with getting paid. But today, let's talk about something that came across my mind. Listen, so often people call us, raise your hand if this is you, they call us, they ask us, they want to pick our brain and they ask us all these questions and we stop what we're doing and we give all of this advice and then they don't take any of it. And then they come back when things don't work because they didn't take our advice and they ask us again and they tell us why it's not working. And it gets a little bit, good morning, it gets a little bit frustrating, right? Because you're like, dang it, why aren't you listening? If you listen, it would help. And so it led me to believe, to think about something. Listen, every person who asks us for our advice, they don't want to take it. And it doesn't necessarily work for them. And some people, it's because they don't want to do the work. Some people, it's because they feel like their idea is better. And the reality is, some people ask us for our advice, but really they've already decided how they want to do it. They just want to see if somebody's going to agree with them. And in those cases, they really shouldn't be asking for advice. But here's the reality. And here's what I have grown to do. If you ask me for my advice and you elect not to take it, one, I give whatever I give, especially if it's something that's free. I give it and I release the attachment to whatever I think they should do. I released the attachment to the outcome. Why? Because I was finding myself more frustrated with the people who weren't taking my advice or who weren't doing what I suggested and they were wasting my time as far as I was concerned. And it was just a waste. And so what did I do? I had to set up boundaries for me. I had to say, listen, T, part of this is your fault because you know that this person consistently will pick your brain, ask you questions. They don't take it into, they don't do it or they skip a bunch of steps, but they want the same results. And then I had to be accountable for myself. And so I realized something. Since life is happening for us and not to us, that means that even people who decide to do things the way they want to do them, even after they ask you their advice, that's still their right. Like they're still well within what it is. The difference is that you and I have to come to a place where we release our attachment and we release our desire to keep repeating ourselves. I cannot tell you how frequently I watch people doing things that I know we've had conversations about and I've talked to them about how to make things a little bit better and they don't do it. And I'm like, all right, I don't say a word. Like before I would get frustrated and I would be annoyed. And then I realized like, why am I spending my time focusing on somebody else's stuff when really all of this energy can go towards what I need to be doing, right? Because the reality is there are things that I need to be doing. Hey, sunshine, there are things that I need to do. There are things that you need to do. And what if we took all of that extra energy and all of that frustration that we have and we put it towards what we need to do in our lives as opposed to focusing it solely on what somebody else is not doing? Like, imagine that. And so we just stayed in our lane. And so I just want to tell you this. Listen, people value you differently when they've paid. When they've invested in something financially, they have a completely different outcome. How about this one? you're giving somebody all this advice and then they go and pay somebody for it and they say, oh my gosh, I had a revelation. This person taught me this and that. And you'll be sitting there thinking, seriously, I've been telling you that for years. Because see, they didn't put a value on it. People value the things that they pay for. That's just the reality. People value what they pay for. And so if they haven't paid for it, they're not necessarily valuing it. Now, there are some people who will value your nuggets here or there, but there's something different that happens when people invest in themselves. And so I just want to encourage you to say, just know, just because people don't take your advice doesn't mean that it's not solid, because it may be solid. Maybe it isn't. Maybe some of the things need to be tweaked. But just remember that people value us differently when they've paid for your expertise. They hear you differently. They show up differently. They invest differently when they have paid for something. And so for me, releasing my attachment to the outcome. I have had the gift of learning how to release the attachment to the outcomes in my own life, let alone my attachment to somebody else's results. Like, why am I so emotionally involved in somebody else's results? And it ain't none of my business. Why am I so annoyed and so frustrated? And like, I had to really do some self-checking myself. Like, T, why are you so bothered by somebody else living the life that they want to live? If they say that they want something and they haven't made any shift or change or growth in their life, then the time for them to have what they really say they want, it'll come. And it may not be now. And guess what? Their growth and shift may not be the way you want it to be. So it may not look the way you want it to look, because it's none of our business how it looks, right? Like, that's on them. So we just get to let people live the way they desire to live. Let them grow, let them shift, let them build. This is also something I've learned a ton as a parent to adult children. And so that's all I got for y'all today. Today, I just simply wanted to talk to us about us realizing that just because people ask us for our expertise, just because people ask us for our help, if we see a pattern, we don't have to keep giving it. And I'm not talking about a 15-minute discovery call in order for people to hire you or things of that nature. I'm talking about you are constantly mentoring people and giving all this value and you're never being paid for it. And I'm not talking about the people who God has called you to do that. Like, that's your ministry where you just do things for free. I'm talking about the people who are in business and they have a hobby that they're calling a business. It's a hobby because they're not being paid. They're just giving away things for fun. And the response is, I love doing what I'm doing. Well, if love doing what you're doing is paying all your bills and all your needs are met according to your dreams and desires, then keep doing that. But for me, I know I had to come to a hard talk with Tuniscia, with myself, to get honest about what it was I really wanted and what it was I really needed and who I was surrounded by and why I didn't have what I wanted. So listen, y'all, I send y'all all the love and the light. That's what I do to people who, when I give advice, I just have to send that advice out with love and light and release the attachment. And so for you, take a deep breath. And today, if you find yourself being one of the people giving out advice and you find yourself repeating yourself, then it's probably time for you to set some boundaries so that you stop doing that, so that you value you more than anyone else. You value your time, you value your words, and save your energy and give it to people who are going to use it, right? Who are really going to pay for it and invest in themselves as well. So I love y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing day today. I'm going to go get to my day, and I will see you all very, very soon. Value yourself and set your boundaries. Take care. Ciao.